Welcome students. Today I am taking your third class on digital land surveying and mapping. In this class I will discuss on overview of digital land surveying. Now the digital land surveying will be discussed under the following heads. First I will let you know what really taking up in digital land surveying, really what digital land surveying is, and then how to carry out digital land surveying overall. Now the overall land surveying has to be done. First we have to establish the control point, then we have to go for collection of field data. Now already I had discussed you the objective of surveying is to carry out field operation to collect field data and subsequently to prepare map of the area. Now in digital land surveying we will make use of some instrument to collect the data in digital format, and then we will like to make use of that digital data to prepare a map using a software. So the digital land surveying and mapping will consist of digital data collection and digital mapping. Now in this class I will like to discuss the overview of only the digital land surveying part. Now digital land surveying actually consists of two fundamental part. One is, the first part is to establishment of control point and once the control point gets established, we make use of these control points for collection of geospatial data or other data defining the surface of the earth. Now in digital land surveying we will establish the control point by making use of GPS, global positioning system, and the collection of geospatial data will be done making use of an instrument called total station. To use the global positioning system for establishment of control point, again it has two parts. One is that collection of GPS data and the next part is to process GPS data. Again this GPS data collection consists of, now collection of GPS data, again it has three parts. First we have to go for planning, then we should go for preparation, and after planning and preparation we will actually go for field work. So now planning is very important for GPS surveying because we must ensure that the data is taken at the stations really which we have chosen or we want to have as the control point, and during that we must have the ensure that the satellites are available and the location of the stations should be suitable for GPS observation. So, all these things we should ensure during planning stage. Now, once we plan where we will take the observation or data, we should go for preparation for taking the data. Now, during preparation we need to prepare ourselves with the instruments to be used, the human resources that is to be engaged, whether they are properly trained, and then we should see whether we do have the proper arrangement for other activities like staying, communication, then data storage and many other things. So, we should prepare ourselves for actual field work. Now, once we have planned properly and accordingly we are prepared for taking the field data, we should go to the field for our field work. Now, again field work is also consisting of few steps. First, we have to ensure that we have reached to the station location where we want to get our data, and we should set up our instrument properly, and we should ensure that the instrument is being set up in such a location which is stable in nature, then the visibility of or the availability of GPS signals are proper. So, once the instrument the various parts of the instruments are properly connected, the power and the energy available is okay, whether it has enough space to store the data, and all those things we have to ensure first, then we should take actual observation. Now, to take the actual observation, we should first apply the appropriate method. Now, in case of control point establishment, it is the static method. We apply the static method, and we should ensure about the height of the instrument, about the epoch of the observation, about the duration of observation, about the availability of proper geometry of satellites. So, with all those intricacies, we should take our observation for adequate duration. So, duration of observation is very important for control point establishment. We should always take more duration. Higher the duration, better will be the quality of the data. So, once the then we have to take the data for duration whichever we have decided to take. Once the data is taken, during the observation also we need to go for some preliminary processing on field itself to know or to test whether the data we are observing, we are taking is of proper quality or not, and also we should see whether the amount of data is sufficient or not, and if possible before we leave the station we should do some preliminary processing to find out whether the data observed is of sufficient good quality, sufficient quantity, and will be of our use or not. So, when we ensure that yes, otherwise if we can ensure that the data we have observed is of appropriate quality or appropriate amount or the amount nature is same is okay, then we can transfer the data from fieldwork to the office. And the observation, sometimes fieldwork observation for control point establishment may be consisting of number of sessions, number of days. So if it is so, if we plan to take the observation for number of days or number of sessions, we have to adopt accordingly. Once we have found the data is of our expected nature, then we should go for transfer of data to office software, and we should go for processing of GPS data, the next step of GPS work. So to process the data, first we have to make available some post-processing software must be available in the office computer for processing our GPS data. And first thing we need to do is to import the data from GPS receiver to the computer memory and then to the pre-processing software, and we should go for pre-processing. Pre-processing is done to improve the quality of the GPS observation, and also for control point establishment we should go for the double differencing observables. So generally we should go for control point establishment is done by making use of double difference observable, which is derived from GPS observations. And also during pre-processing we identify and detect and remove cycle slip and many other errors. So anyway, after this double differencing availability, we should next look for some virtual reference station. Now what is virtual reference station? These are the stations which are available in the internet, where generally these are IGS stations, where the observation for GPS has already been taken by some organizations, and those data is available in the internet, and we have to identify all over the world around the station of where we have taken our observation. Some station should be there, will be there, where already some people are taking some observation in the same duration, and that is made available in the internet. So those data, those stations we have to identify, and then those data we have to download, and we have to process those data with our observed data. So this is a very important steps which we do to fix the location of our control point with reference to the IGS station available all over the world. Then we go for, once the data from our station and the data from VRS stations are available, all those data gets imported to the post processing software and we go for processing of data Now in processing the data, first we should go for baseline processing and then we should go for network analysis. So and after doing this we will be having the location of our control points in WGS 84 system. Now this coordinate may be Cartesian coordinate x, y, z, or it may be geodetic coordinate lat, long and height. These two, so whether it is Cartesian coordinate or geodetic coordinate, this has to be converted to local coordinates in terms of north, east and height. With this our processing of data will complete. That means at the end of GPS data processing we should be having the local coordinates of the control point. Local coordinate must be available. So the end product of establishment of control point is the determination of local coordinates of the control point in our area to be surveyed in terms of north, east and orthometric height. Once this is available, then we will go for collection of field details. So to collect the field detail collection in digital land surveying is done by making use of total station. Now the collection of field details again consists of 3 steps like planning, then field surveying and then data reduction. Now actually whenever we will plan to carry out digital land surveying, before we go to the field we should plan well about the data to be collected and the specification. Means in the field what are the locations, what are the objects, which are the objects we will like to locate or we will like to find out the points, and then what is the accuracy of our collection, then what will be the frequency of points or how much denser points also which we like to have the elevation. So and many other details which we will be learning in coming days. All those things has to be decided before really we start our work, and that is to be done during planning stage. And so once we have decided all those details during planning, and then we will go to the field to collect the data using total station. Now, to start with total station, suppose this is the area and this is the point, control point, whose location we have found out by using GPS in terms of north, east and orthometric height. So, we should identify some point as the station for our total station, from which that GPS control point should be visible, and setting up our total station at this point, we should first take the back side. This is the back side station to start with the total station work, and we should take this direction as the reference direction. So, the line joining the total station and the GPS control point will be the reference direction, and the location of control point will be of GPS control point will be the backside point. This is the thing which we have to emphasize during our collection of field details, and with this we can now take the observation at different location or different objects in the area, and the location of these points, like suppose there is a road, there is a building, we like to get the corners of this building, we like to get the salient points on this road. So, all those points, maybe there is some river, some water bodies like this, then we will like to get these points. So, if we can see all those points from here, then directly we will be able to, this is called method of radiation, and by method of radiation we can find we can get the location of all those important points in terms of north, east and height, and with this point as the control point. So, in that way we can get the location of all salient points, all salient objects, and that will be stored in the memory of the total station. So, which can subsequently be downloaded and processed using mapping software to prepare the map of the area. So, in this way we can, this is the overview in of the detail surveying, which all those all these points we will elaborately learn in our future classes, like in next class we will be talking on GPS, next few classes in which we will see really what is GPS, how it works, and how to take the data and then how to process the data, how to carry out this pre-processing operation, then establishment of control point processing, and all those details we will learn next. Then after that we will learn the total station, the different parts, how it work, how to make use of total station and all those things. So with this I would like to conclude today's class. However, let me summarize the class. The fundamental objective of surveying is to collect the geospatial data from the surface of the earth and then to prepare a map. In case of digital land surveying, we make use of GPS to collect the or to establish the control point, which is subsequently used in total station for collection of location of salient points, and then those data which is collected using total station may be imported to some mapping software for mapping purpose. So that is what is being told today in this class, and in understanding this class some of the important definitions you need to know that has been given under the glossary, and followed by a set of questions has been kept for your self learning or self preparation. Thank you.